I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about how do I know if I'm ready to date again?
This is a huge question.
It is a huge question, yes.
Yeah.
So before we begin, I did want to announce that I am now available for coaching alongside Coach Margaret and Coach Craig. So if you are interested in booking a coaching session, just go to our website, click on our names at the top, and book from there.
Nice and easy to do. Okay, so, I remember after my breakups, one of the biggest problems I had was feeling guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Such an overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
That I felt so guilty. And in fact, I think I talked to you about it after some of my breakups. And it was just so hard because you feel like you're being disloyal to somebody, and it's just really hard to do.
Right.
So we're going to be talking about it because it's such a personal decision to decide when you're ready to start again.
Mm-hmm. So first off, you have to consider if you are over the initial shock of the breakup. Are you able to eat? Is your appetite back? Are you able to sleep? Looking at those basic functions are crucial to see if you're ready to date again. Many people can just jump straight on a dating app to try to find something to distract themselves before they're even at the level of functioning to be able to go out. So really assess for yourself. Are you in a mentally and physical healthy place to date?
Yeah, that's big because, you're a lot of times you're so depressed that you're just looking for a distraction.
That's exactly right. Yeah, look at the rest of your social functioning. Are you getting through your day? Are you going to work? Are you eating and sleeping? Yeah.
And it also takes energy to date again.
Yeah.
So consider that. Many of you right after a breakup might have enormous amounts of energy because you're run by this adrenaline of the breakup, that you might be, not having that much sleep and trying to meet up with people just to get your mind off of things because you can't sleep. Really focus on your mental stability first.
Yeah. It's not easy to do, but I really think you got to take some time, depending upon the length of the relationship and how serious it was. Yeah. Like if you're getting out of a 10-year relationship, I don't think you should be dating 3 months later.
And there are people, unbelievably enough, and I could see a lot of it on Quora, who recommend having a rebound relationship really quickly to cheer yourself up. And they say they have research to prove it. Well, that may be true, but they have forgotten one other important factor, and that is grief. Okay? You have to grieve a loss or it's going to come back to you as an unexplained depression, headache, or pain somewhere in your body.
Yeah, and I really think that it also keeps you from staying motivated on the personal growth.
Yeah.
Because what happens a lot of times is people will start dating, they'll get on Tinder right away. 2 weeks later, they're on Tinder, and, they get obsessed with this new person or all these new people they're talking to, and all that time that they could be really focusing inward and healing and growing and learning, they're just using a distraction. Then the ex comes back, and they're not ready.
Exactly.
I see that all the time.
Exactly, yeah.
And you're going to regret that if that happens.
Yeah.
Right.
So you really got to think about it. If you can get a therapist, to talk to a therapist about it, talk it out with your friends and your family, and just express how you're feeling and see if you're really worked through it enough to spend time with new people, because you don't want to hurt new people either.
Right. And I think it's so important to have somebody that you can talk to in a confidential setting.
Oh, yes.
Many times people can go out on those dating sites, meet new people, and then you accidentally trauma dump and emotional dump on these new people that you're dating about your entire breakup. And that's just not healthy for you. It's not healthy for them. So really be mindful of how much you've processed.
Yeah.
Well, don't they always warn you if someone spends their first date talking about their ex, get out now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they're probably watching us.
Yeah.
That's true. You also have to ask yourself if you're okay with being alone. Don't let the fear of being alone drive you into people who, aren't intentional with dating you. So really consider that. After a breakup, it is really lonely. You get the sense of, oh my gosh, am I losing my chances of being in love with anybody? And that can really be a motivating factor to get on dating sites.
Yeah.
And then you realize, wait a minute, I'm spending a lot of my energy and a lot of my time and attention on all these people that I really don't have an intention with.
Yeah, exactly. You're just basically using them as
And
a
you have to
crutch.
guard your psychic energy, kind
Exactly.
of. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you do really want to think about, are you okay with being alone?
Right.
And you always want to be okay with being alone.
Always, because you never know what can happen in life that will put you in that position.
Yeah, and you'll stay in unhealthy relationships if you're afraid to be alone.
That's
Right.
something we can talk about too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to think about the time, the space that you've had from that person, the physical space, how much contact are you having with them, the emotional space, where are you at with that situation? Are you really wanting to move on from it? You know what I mean? Like, are you still living with your ex?
This is huge.
Yep. A lot of times you're still living with your ex.
Maybe you're stuck in a lease.
Uh-huh. And it could be tricky because you don't want your ex to see that you're sitting around all the time alone, and you know what I mean? But at the same time, are you really ready for that?
And are you going to bring people over in your shared living space?
Gosh, yeah, that's just
Oh, that sounds like
trauma.
a ghastly situation. Yeah.
when
Exactly.
that happened.
You have to consider these things because they do happen.
Yeah.
And also, do friends and family know? Because this can be a very sticky situation if you're on dating apps and then, other people are contacting you, what's going on? I saw you on this dating site. I didn't know that you had broken up with your previous partner.
Yep.
So think about...
Oh, I bet that does happen.
Yeah. There's many sticky situations that you can get in if you and your circle are not prepared for you to be dating. Next, it's also very important that you clearly communicate to the people that you are dating where you are at emotionally. And this is so important because you do not want to lead people on, you don't want to lead people astray. One of the comments that we had in one of our videos had mentioned, yes, I do feel guilty, like I am betraying my partner with dating other people, but I also feel guilty for the people who are dating me, knowing that I'm not in that emotional space to invest in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was a very valid comment and a very
Absolutely.
valid point.
Good for whoever that was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So be very clear with the people that you're dating as to where you're at. Sometimes on first dates, people will ask you, well, what are you looking for? Why are you on this dating site, if you don't mind me asking? Or some type of question like that tends to come up in the beginning. That would be a great opportunity to say, I just came out of a relationship. I don't have any expectations for this, or whatever you would like to convey to that person. It's just important that you're clear.
Yeah, because you don't want to hurt anybody else. Think about how you're hurting. Do you really want to do that to somebody else?
Exactly.
Hopefully not.
And yes, it'll be a risk because that person might say, okay, well, I'm not interested in that. And then, you lost that chance with that person. But it's much better to be honest with yourself about where you're at and with others.
Absolutely.
And are you ready to risk heartbreak again?
Right.
Are you ready to open yourself up again and do all that sharing?
Yeah.
Because if, you start dating somebody new, there's the risk that doesn't last.
Anytime you start dating, it's a risk.
Yeah. One of the things that I recommend is really, really getting to a good place. I don't want to tell you a length of time, but I do think you should put yourself on probation for at least 9 months
Yeah.
of
to keep-
personal growth.
To keep the personal growth going.
If you're dating somebody new,
Yeah.
keep it up. I know it's going to be hard. Most of you aren't going to do it, but those of you that do will see a huge difference. Keep yourself on probation, because if your ex comes back, you want to blow them away. And if you don't spend about 9 months at least really focused on it, you're likely to regress after getting back with them, probably after about 3 or 4 months.
And what specifically would you suggest they do to start?
In what aspect?
Of looking at themselves and their lives.
Well, you want to learn about attachment styles. That's big, because you'll understand that people love differently and that you have different needs than your partners do. And by understanding that it's not all about your needs or all about their needs, that you got to find that balance. Right? And getting yourself into a mentally healthy place. Maybe you've been struggling with anxiety and depression for many years.
Look very carefully at your personal history. There are huge, not just clues, but aha moments usually set in it. And when I will suggest that and people do, they say, why didn't I think to do that? Well, because you didn't go to school like I did for this particular field. You may be brilliant at whatever you do, but you're not born knowing some of the stuff that we're peddling here.
And obviously this is what the workbooks and the creative healing course are all centered around, and the story of your life activity alone is like 40 pages. And that's just one activity in that. It's massive.
And I'll have people tell me terrible stories of what happened to them when they were growing up. And they'll say to me, well, I never thought it was any big deal. And, you know, families kind of expect you to forget anything bad that happened anyway and go on as if nothing ever happened, but you can't just magically make bad stuff go away or being ignored go away.
I just had a guy recently that his father was in the military and he traveled, I think, 16 different times before 6th grade.
Oh dear God.
And he didn't realize the amount of trauma that he had experienced through that. And there was other serious stuff going on with mental illness in the family and stuff like that. And so he's just now realizing, I can't believe this stuff was impacting me the way that it was.
And what's incredible is as you are realizing these insights about your life and you do start dating, you will begin to notice those patterns of what you find attractive, what you don't find attractive, what you find yourself gravitating towards. And so dating in itself can be a really enlightening experience for you once you're ready.
Yes, if you're ready. Yes, there could be an awful lot of growth in it. You meet different kinds of people.
But that's something that you have to figure out for yourself. The more you process it, heal and deal with your past and get to a good place, the more likely you're going to be ready for your ex to come back or to date somebody new.
Exactly.
All right. So hopefully you found this helpful. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Margaret is also available.
If you feel that I can be helpful, please sign up.
And just click on Margaret on the top of the website to do that. And Coach Victoria is available.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you.
You can see their names at the top of my website to get a coaching with them. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.